It's 11 days to go to Nigeria's presidential election. A lot has been happening. And on Monday, we've decided to bring you the top 5 things that happened over the weekend ahead of the big day in the country's politics, which comes, of course, on the 25th of February, about 11 days from now. Should religion also be able to influence your choice of candidate? And also, why are thugs and street urchins attacking opposition parties? First, it was the Labour Party over the weekend, and then the PDP supporters in Lagos Island. Is it true also that the Labour Party candidate Peter Obi gave 2 billion naira to the church, as widely claimed on social media? These are some of the things that we're going to be talking about this morning on Election Countdown Nigeria. The vice presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party and governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, also did commiserate with the Delta State Police Command and families of policemen who were killed by gunmen in Anambra State. Now, another question: do politicians steal manifestos and ideas from other candidates as claimed by the APC? Many of these discussions coming your way. I am Osaugi Ogbonwa, and welcome to ECN, also known as Election Countdown Nigeria. Welcome once again to Election Countdown Nigeria on a Monday morning. And once again, we've got 5 things you need to know concerning the presidential elections. We, of course, are going to be going through some of these discussions this morning and, getting to share with you some of the biggest things that happened over the weekend. Now, 5 things to know about the Labour Party campaign that happened over the weekend in Lagos. At number 1 this morning, suspected political thugs over the weekend attacked supporters of the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi in Lagos State as a result of the Obi Dati mega rally that held at the Tafawa Balewa Square, Lagos State. Videos surfaced online showing some of Peter Obi's supporters lamenting how thugs attacked them at the Jakonde Lekki area of the state. Now, take a look at the video.
Almost injuring so many obedience. Take a look at how it's looking like gunshots. Let me get inside the bus for more view. This is just part of what happened. Can you see? Glass is everywhere. This is a look of what happened not so long ago. The obedience are standing patiently down.
Look at what APC did to a car that we didn't do anything, and they just threw stones on the vehicle. APC, seriously.
They hit me at my back. They hit me.
Sorry. See.
They hit me. Thank you.
God, sorry, my dear. Sorry. APC is a very terrible party, and they are out there to destroy things, to destroy any vehicle. Campaigning for a different party. Look at what they did to big vehicles.
Wow, this one live on. Compared to your Labour Party, more. See what they break person glass. For Aja Bridge. Because person wear Labour Party cloth for this Lagos road.
Because I wear Labour Party cloth.
Because person wear Lagos Party.
Because I wear Labour Party cloth.
For here now. Look at this.
And of course, you have their clips from this past weekend showing people who were allegedly attacked by political thugs, urchins, and whatnot. Of course, eyewitness accounts say that these are APC supporters that carried out the attack. The Lagos State PPRO, I believe, also put out a message saying that there will be proper investigations and they would get to find out what exactly happened. But I'm not certain, and a lot of people also do not have, faith that anyone will be arrested or prosecuted for those attacks. But of course, it's maybe also a good time to remind everyone that election no be war. As it is said, people need to calm down and, understand that it's really just different choices, different candidates, and let people campaign in a very peaceful situation. Campaigns have happened in every other part of the country. Labour Party, of course, says that they have gone to 36 states of the federation during their campaigns. Same thing with other parties, and so everyone should be allowed to campaign freely and fairly and spread their goodwill messages to the Nigerian people. But those are, of course, things that happened over this weekend. Will there be a proper investigation or not? Who are these people who attacked the Labour Party candidate or Labour Party supporters in Lagos State? And the reasons, I believe, that they might be termed APC supporters or APC thugs will be because Lagos State currently is being governed by an APC government, and it seems to be one of the strongholds of the APC government. And that's maybe not why of course there are those allegations that they're APC supporters. But that didn't stop the rally that happened in Lagos over the weekend. The Labour Party still went on to have their rally, their candidate moving from one part of the state to another and eventually ending at the Tafawa Balewa Square, TBS as it is called, where, of course, there were pictures and videos of a large gathering of people that came to, of course, witness and support their presidential candidate along with his campaign trail. It's just a few days to the elections, and so these are some of the things that you continue to see until it is officially over for campaign season. But another reminder to please reduce the violence, or at least there should be no violence in its entirety throughout this period. Let's take a short break. When we come back, Election Countdown Nigeria continues. Welcome back to Election Countdown Nigeria, and of course this Monday morning we're still sharing with you 5 things to know as we count down to D-Day, which is the 25th of February 2023. Now let's look at our number 2 story. Over the weekend, allegations sprung up from nowhere and started to circulate on social media on Sunday mostly about the Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi, allegations that he had offered bribes to Nigerian churches and pastors with the amount allegedly totaling 2 billion naira. A document said to come from Pastor Frank Onwumere of Dunamis International Gospel Center in Imo State to the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, regarding the misappropriation of funds went viral, adding fuel to these claims. And of course, that's the letter on your screen. However, the former chairman of Okigwe local government area of Imo State, Frank Onwumere, has denied writing a petition over the alleged misappropriation of 2 billion naira allegedly given by the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi, to churches under the umbrella of CAN. Onwumere, I beg your pardon, said in a statement on Sunday that he never authored such a petition and did not authorize anyone to do so on his behalf. And that basically was one of the biggest conversations over the weekend, because immediately that letter dropped and immediately this letter broke, it started a lot of conversations. But of course, from what I could see, members of supporters of the Labour Party did immediately carry out their own quick investigations and show that the letter was fake. Frank Onwumere did eventually on Sunday make a video which he posted on his social media account saying that he has no connection or business with that letter. He didn't sign any letter, didn't write any letter, and didn't authorize anyone to use his name either to write any letters. And of course, I also got to see some conversations by representatives of the Labour Party stating how it was really just a fake letter. It was a false letter that was maybe created by supporters of other political parties for many reasons. The address that was even stated as the address of the Dunamis Church in Owerri did not exist. There was also nobody that was supposedly the head of the church in that regard. And of course, for people who have also followed the Labour Party campaign, which has always had the "we know they give shishi" mentality. One of the things that was also spoken about or heard, over the weekend was the fact that the Labour Party has never shown itself to be that party that has any money to give anybody. Talk less of 2 billion naira to give a church to convince them, of course, to vote for them. And so it was immediately thrown away and as a fake story and a fake letter, a fake report. done by members of opposition political parties. I think I also got to see an interview where one of the Labour Party representatives said it wasn't even worth talking about. It wasn't even worth giving any discussion to because of how fake it was. But good thing that also Mr. Onwumere did come out to say his part, and let people know that he had nothing to do with the letter, and it's a fake letter. He has not also authorized anyone to use his name to write any letters on behalf of any political parties. But of course, that was one of the big stories of the weekend that was immediately thrown away as fake news. Now let's move to number 3 and the third story on things you need to know ahead of the February 25th election and some of the things that happened this weekend. But big conversation is, should religion influence your decision at the polls? There have been calls yet again from supporters, spokespersons, and candidates in the past and present that you should vote based on religion. We've heard this so many times, and we've heard certain people campaign with, I'm only going to vote, or, campaign basically trying to let people or convince people to vote people of their religion or vote people of their own tribe. This eventually generated into the Muslim, Christian Muslim narrative being pushed, in selection of candidates. Well, our man on Breakfast Central, always on the streets, Professor Femi Adefishoye, got a cross-section of Nigerians talking on the matter. Will they vote based on religion or based on tribe? And let's hear what Nigerians had to say.
In Nigeria, you should know that religion has nothing to do with the next coming election, because we have all seen how the economy has been battered, and for us to redeem that economy back, so religion should not be the key thing. The key thing is somebody that can deliver. So if we look at the political party, who of the candidate can deliver, I think that is what Nigeria should be thinking about. So that is my summation.
I no look into any religion. Now the person I want vote for Peter, now they vote for religion. No concern all these politics. Now all these are bad leaders. What they do, all these will carry religion for head. Religion no they carry us go anywhere. Vote the right person, finish. So all that's what they do. Now my religion person, now my I be Muslim, I be Christian. Now then they spoil this country. All of us now one. Now the same God we they serve.
For me, actually, I'm voting to make the religion. I'm just voting to make our religion good, to the better party, to make our life safe, because we are suffering for this country too much. That's all.
See, when you are talking about the progress of a nation and the perspective of a nation, you have to look at the potentials of the candidates that are available, not about a religion. Religion has no role to play in it, because when you bring in religion, that means even when the candidate is the wrong choice, you have to put it there, and it will affect you, knowing fully that today you are talking about the leaders of the past that have made mistakes, they have not managed the affairs of this nation very well. You point finger at them today, but I can still also guarantee you that if you make the wrong choice today by bringing religion into it, the young ones, your children, they are going to point finger at you tomorrow and say, you didn't manage the affair of this country, right? You didn't make the right choice when you have the opportunity to do it.
My choice is that as we vote for our brother Christian, because even the Bible says, when the righteous is on the throne, people rejoice. When the wicked one is on the throne, people grumble. And our prayer for this country, for the person we are going to vote for, we want him to hold this country and do what is right. Because doing what is right, God will also be happy with you. When the leader that comes in and he's doing what is not right, people will be grumbling.
Because what we are facing in this country, we don't need tribalism, and we don't even need any religion at all. We need common sense to tell us what we need and what we are facing in this our nation.
So please look at the candidate that we have. Look at what we really need. What do we really need? That's the question we should be answering ourselves. What do we really need? Who do we really need to pilot the affair of this nation to a better height?
Cross-section of Nigerians and their views concerning religion, as it of course influences their choice of voting. But I would also mention one thing. It's interesting, seeing these responses, mostly because of the peculiarities of Nigeria's situation. And of course, the whole idea and the whole conversations concerning, rotation that has emerged since 1999. And this is the reason. As much as you see people like that, and this is the reality in Nigeria, as much as you see people like that say that religion will not influence their decision, their voting decision, there's still a large number of people, educated, exposed people who I have seen on social media say that they will not vote a person from this tribe or from this region, that they will vote their brother. And it's very popular in Nigeria, you know, if we're being realistic. The message really that we're spreading this morning is to always focus on competence. That's, you know, really where Nigeria should be. Focus on competence, forget about tribe and religion. But there's a challenge with that even, because religion may not be the reason that people would choose in Nigeria at this point, but it might be the reason that people would reject. And if you've seen conversations concerning the Muslim ticket, you would see that there's a lot of reasons people have said, you know, I wouldn't vote this party because I do not feel included. I as a Christian, my sister as a Christian, or my brother as a Christian, does not feel included in this party's basically in this party that has picked two Muslims. So in that instance, it's not been a reason for picking the party, but it's been a reason for rejecting that political party, for example. And if you're talking tribe, there have also been people who have said, well, from one Fulani man to another Fulani man, I do not feel comfortable with that. I would rather find somebody else from a different tribe entirely. Unfortunately, these are still the type of conversations that we have in the build-up to election season in Nigeria, and you cannot necessarily take it away immediately, because a lot of people are still very, very sensitive about religion and about tribe and some other, you know, things like that. But there you have it. That's number 3. Now let's go to number 2 this morning, and it's of course our top 5 countdown. The vice presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party and governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, has sympathized with the Delta State Police Command and families of policemen who were killed by gunmen in Anambra State. The State Commissioner for Information, Charles Aniagu, said the absence of the officers will be felt, especially for their contributions to peace and development of Delta. The cops were unfortunately killed, and of course their names are Lucky Aleu, Celestine Nwandioku, Jude Obu, and these men were attached to the explosives ordnance disposal unit of the government house at Saba. They were ambushed and killed on Friday by gunmen along Ihiala or Lu Road en route Umuahia on official duty. A really, really sad incident there, but of course once again brings back conversations on violence in certain parts of Nigeria, mostly in election season. Really heartbreaking, and our hearts go out to their family. But once again, the question we would always ask, you know, is who's responsible for these bits of violence, and what is the state and federal government going to do to ensure that Nigeria has a peaceful election 2023? Very, very interesting. Now, finally, our number 1 story on 5 things you should know. It seems the CBN policy of Naira redesign and swap deadlines, which has caused chaos in the nation and had people sleeping at the ATMs due to its failed implementation, has gotten the NNPP presidential candidate talking tough. Yesterday, Sunday, February 12, 2023, at the International Conference Center, Abuja, a debate was set for all candidates from the APC, the PDP, Labour Party, and NNPP. Sadly, only Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso of the NNPP showed up. Now, while fielding questions from journalists after the event, he spoke on the current scarcity of the new Naira notes and made a strong statement concerning other candidates who were absent. They own banks, he said, or he alleged. He was, of course, one of the things that got people shocked, you know, as one of the things that he said, that these candidates own banks. Now, listen for yourselves to Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso.
This issue of change of Naira, redesign of Naira again, I've not seen MBA saying anything. But I can tell you, almost everybody is poor today, except these guys who own banks. These candidates, you see, they own banks, they own governors. And the government, federal government is saying that is to stop them from buying votes. You see, all these things are geared toward the poor and those of us who are together with them.
Now, the big question is, did Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso mean that all the presidential candidates own banks and are CEOs of banks, or did he mean that they are in control of the banking sector, you know, across Nigeria, and they, of course, rather, you know, bank managers and bank CEOs are at their beck and call? You know, he probably needs to clarify exactly what he means by these other candidates own banks, and that's why they're affected by the new CBN rule. I would also mention, you know, that it's sad and it was heartbreaking for Nigerians yesterday, saying that he was the only candidate that showed up, and Nigerians are still demanding and still asking and still begging at this point for a presidential debate in the build-up to the end, of course, just a few days to the elections, Nigerians still demand that there should be a national debate that brings forth candidates of the APC and the PDP and the Labour Party and NNPP and ADC, every other party that is contesting for the elections should come forward and speak with the Nigerian people, express themselves on national television for every Nigerian to watch and hear their policies and argue, debate different policies, economy, healthcare, security, education, infrastructure, corruption, and every other thing that is currently bedeviling Nigeria. And it would be heartbreaking, from what I've read and seen, it would be heartbreaking if we do not get a proper election, a presidential election debate amongst the candidates in 2023. A lot of Nigerians will be very, very disappointed if we cannot pull that off. And so it's encouraging, and this is maybe a call to all candidates. So please go ahead and be a part of a debate. Debates can be set up by anybody. There are many bodies that have continued to set up debates, and of course it maybe also includes television stations and Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ. Many bodies can set up debates, and every candidate should show up. But let's take a short break. When we come back, Election Countdown continues. And remember, every day on Election Countdown Nigeria, we share with you one presidential candidate, of course, that is contesting for the elections. Stay with us.